You're listening to The Raw Reaction on the Angry Marks Podcast Network.
Welcome to Raw Reaction, everyone. This is your man, your brother, the Angry Tensai. And tonight, our very own Big Dick is in Europe, Germany to be exact, 3 years in a row. He's at Oktoberfest, which he usually misses a show 2 weeks for every year. And we have a substitution. No, it is not Rob the Many tonight. It is not what was the youngest podcaster on our network, Jordan Garber. It is the new youth of the podcast community, Angry Marks protege and prodigy. I'm talking about M-Rob. M-Rob, welcome to the network and welcome to the Raw Reaction.
Thank you very much. Very kind introduction you gave me.
We're glad to have you here, man. I know we're not going to tell too much about you yet. The fans have to invest in you. But I do know that you are yet another East Coast boy, so to speak. And we're excited about that. We have a lot of Canadians. We have a lot of people in the Midwest. So I think your accent might give you a little bit away. But glad to have you here, brother. Very glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Well, M-Rob, Raw tonight was a surprisingly good show. One thing you and I were talking about before we got on the air tonight, we talked a little bit about the Bray Wyatt Roman Reigns advertised main event.
Yes.
If somebody would have told me at the beginning of the night, you're going to watch a match that ends in a double countout and you're going to mark out and love it, I would have thought they were crazy. Tell us about the match. Tell us about the build.
Well, pretty much it was just the end all to the whole rivalry between Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt, and if this is really the end, they really went out in style. As this ended in a double disqualification, they just beating the crap out of each other in the audience, and ending with Bray Wyatt getting speared through the announcer's table. Probably one of the best things I've ever seen.
You're right. It was, and it was one of those Raw moments. You think of those trademark Raw moments like Stone Cold Steve Austin spraying down Vince McMahon with the beer truck. I mean, I'd put this right up there, and it was just, Reigns just delivered it, and Wyatt sold it. The crowd was marking out at the end as if it was the Attitude Era. I haven't seen a crowd erupt like that in forever. These guys delivered a hard-hitting match, very great match, and you make a good point. You said it was advertised as the end-all match, and it very might well be the last match between these two guys, and it goes to show you can put two guys over in one match without even a decisive ending. It was a lot of fun, for sure, watching Roman Reigns and Bray Wyatt hook it up. I mean, let me ask you, do you feel like, from what you saw tonight, the Wyatt, Shield, Randy Orton, where do you think we go from here?
I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that this might actually be over, because I think that they've been stringing this out too long ever since they added Braun Strowman in. Yeah,
I kind of agree with you myself. I'm slowly investing more, and you're right. Tonight was definitely a culmination, and it was big. We saw Luke Harper and Braun Strowman, to that effect, go a little bit their own way in a new match. They disposed of the former tag team champions, the Primetime Players, and was really a squash.
Yes.
Strowman literally bear hugged the life out of Titus O'Neil. I mean, let me ask you this. I guess I have two questions for you.
All right.
Number one, were you surprised to see the Primetime Players treated like just jobbers after the build they had? And then number two, I want you to tell me all about how you feel about Braun Strowman.
Well, to answer your first question, no, I wasn't very surprised at all about that ending. As soon as I saw it was them going up against each other, I'm like, okay, Braun Strowman is gonna get this last move. And to answer your second question, I don't like Braun Strowman at all. I mean, that last bear hug, I think that's just a really cheap move to win.
You know what, man? I think we have a blind eye, a blind. You are just. It's almost as if me and you are on the same wavelength. I don't know how much Raw reaction you've ever heard before, but I think Braun Strowman is the biggest piece of shit in WWE history. I have been well documented on this show. What Chris Jericho went through, what I've watched Roman Reigns and Randy Orton go through, this guy has no business being in the positions he's in. However, I'm okay with him, with Luke Harper being a strong tag team. But I agree, Braun Strowman, I just don't see it. But I love Luke Harper. I don't know, Rob, you feel that way? Are you a Luke Harper guy?
I mean, I always thought Luke Harper was alright. Just like the original Wyatt family with Wyatt Harper and Rowan. I thought they were a pretty good team. And I know that with Eric Rowan out with his injury, that they had to find someone else to put in. I just don't know if Braun Strowman was the way to go unless they were actually planning to end this pretty soon.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, it's kind of pointless because I don't think the intent for the whole feud was to build up Braun Strowman. I think they just put him in there. Rowan, I never thought was the greatest, but he could do some stuff, you know? I definitely felt like Luke Harper did stand out as the sidekick to Bray Wyatt, you know, during their run, but as the trio they are, but Rowan could do some stuff in the ring, and I just think Strowman is incredibly limited. And to me, you have monsters on the roster. You have Kevin Owens, you have Rusev, you have Kane, you have Big Show, and I'm not saying Kane and Big Show at this point should be main players, but Braun Strowman doesn't look to me as somebody that could beat those guys physically. Forget about what he's done. But I just don't see it. I think he's got a terrible look. I imagine he's horrible on the mic. Just not a fan. Not a fan at all.
I agree.
It sounds like you're of the same mindset.
Yeah.
With that same channel, what do you think of the resurgence of Kane?
Oh, the resurgence of Kane. I think it's a little bit of a plot twist, I think. With him just being absolutely unaware of his other form. Like they are just two separate entities. I think it's just really interesting.
I find it funny, and I would love to see a scenario much like when Mankind called out Dude Love or Cactus Jack. It was actually Cactus Jack who gave an interview about Kane and was talking about how Dude Love is just a kid. He's just a kid going out there to have fun, and you're gonna punish that kid out there. That kid's out there giving it all to the WWF, and at the time they were WWF, and you just took that kid out. And I'm gonna tell you something. You're not gonna be able to do that to me. And Cactus Jack completely kayfabing like that. Dude Love is some young guy making his way up. I love it. I would love to see corporate Kane have a problem with Mass Kane and call him out. They may go there, and I will go crazy if they do. You think that would be funny?
Yeah. They would definitely confirm the two entities thing.
I joked, like 2 weeks ago when they started it, that maybe that's what they were doing, and I kind of agree with you. I mean, that's really what they are doing. What happened was tonight, for those of you who didn't tune into Raw, I mean, Kane, he had a big spot tonight, and it looks like he's going to get the WWE title match. He was reported to corporate HR for actions unbecoming of a WWE official, and they brought in a young lady to an HR lead to do a evaluation of Kane's psyche and his state of mind, and to investigate what's gone on on Raw. Seth Rollins actually shows up backstage with the HR rep who is talking to Kane, and he says, I hope there will be a fair evaluation tonight. Kane is somebody, we can't trust, and, it's too bad somebody sent in an email and ratted out, made a report about Kane. And then JVL wisely pointed out, well, that's funny that Seth Rollins mentions there was an anonymous email, because nowhere did the HR rep ever mention there was an email, which was the way it got reported. So you knew right there that Rollins was the guy who did it. And you know what? Kane passed with flying colors. He passed his review, and Seth Rollins went absolutely crazy. How'd you feel about that whole segment?
Oh, I think that was great. Seeing Seth Rollins on the stage going bat crazy, because clearly he's not getting his way, trying to get Kane out of there before he has to deal with him.
It's funny, you make a point of that. Like he always Seth Rollins always takes the shortcut, like to try and get rid of somebody or not fight with somebody. But Rollins always does find a way to come out on top. I mean, if you think about it, Rollins basically beat Sting. He didn't really cheat. He beat Sting.
No.
He beat him. He needed to find it within himself that he has the talent to beat these guys, which is what Triple H is trying to teach him. He's going to beat Kane, and he can beat Kane. But he resorts to these tactics. It is an interesting, almost wrinkle in his personality, what's being presented on WWE TV. He doesn't need to be afraid, but that's what we're portrayed with.
Right.
Yeah. So Rollins proceeded to your point, get very upset, and the HR rep said the only person who's been rude around here and who I've had a problem with is you. You're the worst person on the roster. And he just snapped, and Kane tried to calm him down, so to speak, and Rollins dropped the WWE title, and Kane went to pick it up, and he got pedigreed, and he got his ass beat. And Kane was actually brought out in an ambulance. He got beat so bad. But what happened from there, Mr. M. Rob?
Well, the inside of the ambulance glowed red, and Demon Kane came out, snapped his leg back into place, and then proceeded to get his revenge on Seth Rollins.
Correct. And he did what Demon Kane does best, and that's beat down Rollins. Now here's my question for you. Demon Kane emerges, the feud set, the title was dropped, and that was more symbolic. They didn't say there was going to be a title match, but clearly there's going to be. That's the whole point of the title in the segment. Do you think there's any way Kane can beat the red hot Seth Rollins?
Well, I think it's surely possible, but if Seth Rollins can actually fight it in himself, I'm sure he can beat Kane and once again hold on to the championship.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, I think anything's possible. And, Kane, I'd say it was about 3 or 4 years ago when he won the world title on SmackDown. He had a huge feud with The Undertaker. They rekindled their feud. And I think that was a surprise to a lot of people that Kane got that run. I could see him getting this last run. The only thing is, the reason why I don't see it, I can see it for another reason too. This Kane-Rollins feud has gone on for so long. Mm-hmm. I mean, it has been there the whole time. It's been back to November, Survivor Series of last year. So, I get it. I get that this has been there, and this is a big feud, but I just don't know if they would put the title on Kane. I don't see Seth Rollins dropping the title at this point. I mean, he's just so built up. I just don't see it happening. But I think it'll be a good match. I'm interested. You interested? I mean, is it something you want to see at pay-per-view?
Yes, definitely. And I mean, when they first introduced this Kane stepping up thing, I totally thought, oh, they're finally going to end Seth Rollins' reign. But now that I've seen what's been going on Raw and SmackDown for the past couple of weeks, I think Seth Rollins is just going to get mad enough that he's going to hold on to it with his dear life.
Yeah, I agree. Well, we'll see. It's going to be interesting for sure. And the good thing about that feud, no one else is involved, so somebody's going to win clean. Maybe not clean, but someone's going to win decisively, whether it be Rollins or Kane. So it should be fun to watch. Just like Sting Rollins, something had to give. Nobody else was involved in the feud. Although Kane came out at the end, it didn't have an effect on the match. So, we'll see. So, we also had a match tonight versus Bo Dallas and Randy Orton, and this was just a glorified squash match. Now, I forgot all about the match, to be honest with you. Randy Orton kills him. Did Bo Dallas have a shirt on tonight, like for the match, or did he take it off?
I think he may have taken it off.
And if he did, and I know we referred to this last week, I just want to ask you, have you noticed the change in Bo Dallas' physique?
Not really, no.
He has put on probably 10 to 15 pounds, and it's not muscle. And I'm curious to why that is. If you're a professional athlete, your only job is to stay in shape. I'm surprised Bo Dallas is letting himself go. He must be getting, I guess maybe defeated by the fact that he's a jobber, but it is what it is. He's not going anywhere. Randy Orton continues to roll. Who knows what's next for him? But that was one of the matches we got last on the show. Mm-hmm. Let's see. I'm also remembering that Wade Barrett made his return. Yet another DQ finish tonight. Wade Barrett winds up interrupting a Stardust Neville match yet again. These two hook it up, but Wade Barrett shows up. Last time we saw Wade Barrett, he was teaming with Stardust to take on the Red Arrow, Neville, and the Green Arrow, the superhero. And the Green Arrow and Red Arrow did win. And Barrett comes back on TV. One would have assumed to help Stardust. He proceeds to bullhammer Neville, interrupting the match, but when he's done, he knocks out Stardust cold as well. Wow. Wade Barrett's back. Any thoughts on that?
Honestly, not really. Really, what happened. So.
Yeah. I mean, so Wade Barrett's been gone for the equivalent of 3 weeks. And then he knocks out his opponent from the previous match and his partner from the previous match and basically says, I'm back, all hail the king. But if you're gone for 3 weeks, were you ever really gone? I mean, you're not really returning. So it's kind of an odd thing. I'm curious to where that's going to go.
Yeah, I figure he might do something. They might put him up to something, maybe a title, but if they're bringing him back just after a short 3-week hiatus, then they might just be reintroducing him to the roster. I'm not quite sure about that.
Is it fair to say that his King of the Ring run has been a bust?
Pretty much, yeah.
Do you watch NXT, M-Rob?
NXT? No, not often.
I would, if you're familiar with Finn Balor, and his title run on NXT, I'd like to see Barrett just go down there, for a little bit and just work down there. It's a great brand, and I'd love to see him feud with Finn Balor. I just think they'd be a good mix, and I think it would give Barrett a nice bump to come back to the roster. But he's definitely proven he can be a player. He had a great feud with John Cena when he was coming out of the Nexus. He's just not hitting his stride for some reason. Maybe bad writing. He's great on the mic. The Bad News Barrett character is very funny. He was great as the leader of the Nexus. The dude looks like $1 million. He's a good worker. I don't know why he can't put it together. I just don't get it. I like him. I buy him. Hopefully he'll turn it around.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking that maybe his arrogance about winning King of the Ring might override his performance, and maybe that's what's going on with him the past few months.
True. Well, also, and we'll I want to get your thought on this to wrap up this match. Do you feel like the Ascension has any ability to get over with Stardust, or do you feel like they're just done?
I'm gonna say maybe. It might be over with, or Stardust is gonna hold on to them just for henchman-like duties.
Yeah, I think, I don't know if you know, I mean, I think certainly Killer Kev knows this. I'm a huge Ascension guy, and I've been so disappointed at what a bust they've been. When in NXT they were just so dominant, and I'm really hoping they turn it around, but we'll see. It remains to be seen. You know, they got another chance here, so hopefully it works out for them. Let's see, what else do we have tonight? I've been a big fan of although it hasn't really worked out as great as one would hope, I have been a big fan overall, and I know a lot of people have been critical of it. I give it a B, maybe even a B+. I've found the whole Divas revolution to be very, very different, and it's kept my interest. I'm a big fan of Charlotte and Sasha Banks, and I think it's been pretty good. And tonight there was a Miz TV in which Charlotte and Becky Lynch were interrupted by the Bella Twins, who basically just called out, and Alicia Fox called out PCB without Paige, and just talked about how, you guys aren't really a team, and we're coming for the title, and, don't talk crap to us because it's 3-on-2. And then Paige comes out, and she continues to pipe bomb, and says, hey, you know what? Here comes my two friends, Becky and Charlotte. And Charlotte, you're the champion because I was the first NXT champion. I started this. And Becky, without me, no one knows your name. And you know what? Bella Twins, with boyfriends like yours, who needs ambition? Wow, here goes Paige. So how are you feeling about the whole Divas Revolution?
Well, I feel like it took an uneventful turn when Paige went pretty much psycho about Charlotte winning. But seeing her come back and fight with Becky Lynch and Charlotte kind of makes me think that, okay, that it was just one little blow up, everything might be fine.
Right. However, what happened?
Then Natalya comes out, and Paige walks out, and it seems like Natalya is going to come in for her, and then Paige just throws her off of the side.
Yeah, in fact, Charlotte acts, there was like a little like moment where Charlotte like tried to get the figure 8, and she got knocked out and knocked into Paige. So Paige kind of looked at it like, screw this, I'm not taking a bump from Charlotte. Walks off like you said. Natalya comes, I don't even know what Natalya was thinking, because like Natalya was trying to like substitute for Paige, and it's like, well, dude, you're disqualified if you get up on the apron. So Paige knocks her off the apron, and the Nikki Bella picks up Charlotte, rack attack, and it's all she wrote. So, I don't really know where we'll go from here, but here's the thing. We knew Paige was going to turn eventually, but if it results in a one-on-one match between Paige and Charlotte, that's not a bad thing, wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, seeing just those two fight it out wouldn't be too bad of a match.
Oh, no way. I think it'd be very good. I don't know. I mean, if you had to rank in order the talent in the Diva division, I guess top 5, who would you put 1 through 5?
That's a tough one. I would think that either Becky Lynch or Charlotte would be on top, my first slot. So I would say those two would be my 1 and 2. And my 3 would probably be Nikki Bella, and then I'd say Sasha Banks, then Brie Bella.
Yeah, I think my top 5 is similar to yours. I am not sold on Naomi at all. I mean, I've seen enough of her to not be impressed. I do think Tamina's good. I just don't think she's as good as the other girls. Alicia Fox is worthless. Rosa Mendes is worthless. Natalya, she's a good worker, but there's always been something missing from her, and she certainly had her opportunities. I would just say, and a lot of my commentary is based on just having watched them in NXT. I put Sasha Banks 1. I think you're gonna see a lot more of her, M-Rob, and you're gonna feel like she's number 1 when you see more of her. And she hasn't really been showcased as much. Charlotte, right there, number 2. Becky Lynch, I would agree with you, is probably a little bit better than Nikki Bella as a worker. Although I think Nikki Bella on the mic is very underrated. She's a very, very good heel. So I think by a little bit I would put Nikki Bella ahead of her. And then I would put Becky Lynch. And I agree with you. I think Brie Bella just gets a bad rap because she jobs a lot because she's like helping put Nikki over. But Brie Bella, I thought, was very entertaining in the Stephanie McMahon SummerSlam feud last year. So I'm with you. My top 5 is exactly the same in a different order. So I'm cool with that. And I think, like I said, man, I've been saying it here on the network before the Divas Revolution started, which in my mind is, the three coming up, that being Sasha, Charlotte, and, Becky Lynch. I wasn't interested in the Divas at all. And now I am. So that's good, right? I mean, that's the idea.
Yeah. Just to stir up more interest in the Divas.
For sure. So, cool with me. You know what I'm not interested in? I'll tell you what I'm not interested in, brother. Not that I'm not interested in the MSG house show, because I'm going to watch it on the network, but I'm not interested in the fact that Big Show versus Brock Lesnar is being forced down our throats, and even more so, I have a problem with that my boy Mark Henry got fed to Big Show to build up his match with Brock Lesnar, where he's going to get fed to Brock Lesnar, that being Big Show, in 2 minutes. I don't even know where to start with this. What do you think about Big Show versus Brock Lesnar?
I really just kind of thought it would be ultimately a stalemate between them because they're just so dominant against all their opponents. And I mean, I would want to think even with Brock Lesnar's performance, he would come out on top on that, but then I have to reconsider Big Show's history, and then I just really can't decide who would be the winner of that match.
Well, I guess that they have made a good point about Big Show having Brock Lesnar's number, and we do talk about certain guys have certain guys' numbers. I mean, hell, Shelton Benjamin holds 2 wins over Triple H, man. I mean, certain guys beat certain guys. The Hurricane beat the Rock. I mean, crazy shit, right?
Yeah.
That happened. But I don't see at a house show that, house shows are set up. If you've ever went to a house show, I personally haven't, but I read the reports all the time. I've been to pay-per-views, but house shows, usually the faces always win, and they're trying to make everybody go home happy. So, I can't see Brock Lesnar losing this. Although, who knows? Undertaker shows up. That would be crazy. That would be a weird setup. So, that was built up tonight through Paul Heyman being a little worried about being confronted by Big Show and Big Show reminding him of their history. So, we'll see. I'm gonna watch it. I think it's Sunday, right? The house show?
I think it's Saturday, actually.
Saturday. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'll definitely take a look. I'll definitely watch it. I remember the last one was Beast in the East, and man, that was an awesome house show. You're gonna think I'm insane. I woke up at 5:30 in the morning to watch that because I wanted to see Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens for the NXT title. Isn't that funny?
I never actually watched Beast in the East until maybe 2 or 3 weeks back on the Saturday morning where I was just bored.
What'd you think of it?
It was pretty good. Other than the fact that, as usual, Kevin Owens being completely disrespectful of their traditions in a championship match.
You didn't like that?
No, not one bit.
Well, that's kayfabe. Owens really does respect Japan, right? You know that.
Yeah.
But Owens' character is hysterical, man. I mean, when Owens came out last year and put over Bo Dallas, it was great, man. I'm telling you, man, I on this network, and Killer Kev can tell you, I was so critical of Kevin Owens joining NXT before he made it to the Raw roster. I was like, this guy looks like some jabroni off the street. He's never gonna make it. He's a joke. And everybody loved him on the indies. And I gotta tell you, I mean, he's probably one of my favorite guys on the entire roster. He is amazing. He can work. He can talk. He's hysterical. He's got a presence. I love Kevin Owens. And I mean, I don't cheer for him because he's such a heel, but I love his character and what he does. I think he brings a lot to the show.
Yeah, at first, with the whole John Cena incident, I really didn't like him, but I guess his character just kind of grew on me. And I guess it really set in stone that I'm okay with Kevin Owens as soon as he won the Intercontinental Championship.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and he's gonna help that title. And tonight, what really upset me is we've established that I was wrong about him. Another guy I was wrong about was Rusev. Man, you pull some of my old stuff from a year ago, I killed this guy. I've been wrong about so many people, man. I have been wrong. I admit it. I've been wrong about a lot of people, and Rusev's a guy I've been wrong about. I mean, he turned the corner for me at WrestleMania when he really showed he could work at a high level with John Cena, and an incredible entrance, and he's been good since. I mean, the Lana thing has been horrible for him, but he's a monster, and he's legit. And tonight, when I saw we were going to get Kevin Owens versus Rusev, I couldn't even be more excited. I was like, this is going to be awesome. These are two guys I've wanted to see hook it up. It's like a dream match for me. They're both heels. How's the crowd going to react? They come in, they go full force, they're attacking each other, throwing bombs at each other. Next thing you know, they're outside the ring. About a minute later, Rusev gets thrown into Ryback, who's doing commentary at ringside, and they call for a bell. There's a disqualification, and Ryback then gets attacked by Rusev and Owens, and then Owens takes the Intercontinental title. Dolph Ziggler shows up out of nowhere and super kicks Rusev. What a disappointment, man. It was very disappointing for me. What did you think?
Yeah, that just sounds disappointing. Somehow I ended up missing that, but it definitely sounds like a disappointing match. Honestly, I think with any match that ends in a disqualification, other than, of course, that double DQ before, most of those are disappointments to me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get, like, you can't give away a feud that's not happened before, like Owens versus Rusev, with a decisive ending, right? I get that. But don't put them out there and advertise it to me and tell me I'm going to get this great match and then give me 1 minute of punches.
Yeah.
I mean, these guys are in such a unique position on the roster. Rusev and Owens have been on rolls since joining the WWE, both of them, right? I mean, they have been on freaking rolls, and they're both heels. That's intriguing, don't you think? I mean, just hearing, that's different. That's kind of cool. And then nothing comes of it. You know? It's
yeah.
Point.
Just like both of them coming at each other finally, and we just get left with hardly anything.
You know what, though? The Kane Rollins thing kept me thoroughly entertained tonight. And the Roman Reigns Bray Wyatt match was incredible. So overall, I'd give the show a B. I mean, it definitely kept my interest. It kept my entertainment. You know, maybe a B minus. I mean, I don't know. I think I'd give it a B minus because of the first match they had. I was okay with John Cena coming out and throwing out the U.S. Open Challenge. I'm like, cool, this is back. I love the U.S. Open Challenge because you get to see new guys get a shot at John Cena. It's cool. Xavier Woods takes the challenge, and I'm like, wow, this is a little different. I mean, he's not going to win, but I'm cool with a John Cena versus Xavier Woods match because really we could watch Xavier Woods work. And that didn't really materialize. It wound up being the New Day, who were ejected, came back out like almost immediately, got Woods disqualified. It leads to a 6-man tag match. The Dudley Boys make the save. And we get a 6-man match between the New Day versus the Dudleys and John Cena. And the Dudleys actually miscommunicate, and the New Day wins this one. I was okay with all this, but they took up 40-something minutes of the show on all of this, on that whole interaction. I think you could have done all that in 20 minutes. And I think that was a drawback to the show as well as the Rusev Owens thing. I'm okay with what they showed. I thought the 6-man match was entertaining. It was a good match. I just felt like they gave it too much time. That's all. What do you think?
Definitely. Honestly, on this one, I really would have loved to see Xavier Woods come out on top. like, series game changer. John Cena just got this back, and Xavier Woods comes along, and now the entire team has some sort of championship to their name. That would have been great until Big E and Kofi came back out.
Right.
Because they totally thought that Xavier was about to tap out when John Cena pulled the STF. But then, after the disqualification, the Authority decides to make this a 6-man tag team. I'm like, okay, I don't think that was really necessary.
No, it wasn't. I mean, they didn't do that with any of the other matches that ended in DQs tonight, did they?
No, I don't think so.
No, so I mean, it's kind of like, I agree. I mean, you imagine Xavier Woods goes over John Cena. Wow, that would be like, holy cow, that's a big thing. I mean, that would be so unexpected. And that's kind of the thing about WWE that I think they forget sometimes. You know, like you think about MMA. MMA is so interesting because it's like matchups. Like, I'll give you an example. Like, you and me might fight, right? And you beat me. Okay? You knock me out. But yet you then fight Big Dick. And Big Dick knocks you out. But then I fight Big Dick and I beat him. But yet you crushed me. It's all about matchups. You know what I mean? Like, certain guys can beat certain guys. And it's just like, in WWE, it's like, okay, well, you're a jobber, so you could never beat this guy. But that's not really how fighting is. Someone can catch somebody on any day. And I really think WWE has gotten away from what made Raw so good when it first started. Because the theme of Raw was anything can happen on WWE Raw. And who could forget when the 1-2-3 kid busted on the scene, who's X-Pac, and beat Razor Ramon, Scott Hall. Shocked the world. And, you know, sometimes you gotta have that happen. You know, otherwise don't book the stuff. You know, so I'm with you. I thought it totally would, what a surprise that would be. Nobody would see that coming. So, you know, sometimes that's how you gotta book, man. I miss the element of surprise in the WWE. I think the writing has gotten very stale. But here's the funny part, my friend. Here's the funny part. This is the best roster they've had in 10 years, longer than that, 15 years. And this roster is so athletic that anything that's basically put out there, with the exception of Braun Shitty Strowman, it's good. It's good. Everything is good. Everything's good. And that's awesome. I like that. I love watching the athleticism of the WWE, and it's really, really good. And if they could get better writers, you know, certain things they're writing very good right now. Like, they are handling Seth Rollins perfectly. I mean, they're nailing it. But like you said about the Wyatt and Shield thing needing to end, they haven't done a very good job of writing that, you know. And you got a lot of guys just hanging around. Like, you have Randy Orton available to feud with anybody. You have Chris Jericho around. You can feud with anybody. And they're not really utilizing it. It doesn't make sense to me, you know?
Right. And I think that I really like the adding of Luke Harper and then Roman Reigns bringing back Dean Ambrose. I mean, I really love that. It was a nice little change, but then they add one more person. Like, okay, this is getting old now.
Mm-hmm. Agree. I'll tell you one thing, though. I really like Rollins and Ambrose together, even though they're not, like, Reigns and Ambrose together, even though they're not with Rollins anymore. They just have a great chemistry together, and I really like that. I really like their friendship. I think it adds a lot to the show, and it's good. I mean, you know, but what I feel about Ambrose and Reigns is, like, if they wanted to, they could take the WWE tag titles any night they wanted to. Any night they feel like entering into a match, they can take the belts.
Right, and I'd love to see them back on top again.
Me too.
Just like the Shield was with their tag team and U.S. championship.
Why not utilize the tag champions the way they used to be? I mean, you could take a lot of your main event guys that aren't in the world title hunt at the moment, and you put them in tag teams. You know, like why not have Ambrose and Reigns go for the tag titles, right? I mean, you're not using them in the main event, so, you know, what's the next best thing? You know, I mean, could you imagine Ambrose and Reigns versus Dudley Boys? That's a match.
Yeah, that would definitely be great.
So let me ask you: have you seen the Dudley Boys prior to in a WWE ring? Do you remember them?
No, honestly, I was not much into ECW
I
when
got
they were
you.
around. Like, my younger years when I was big fan, I would always just watch SmackDown. I
Right.
never watched Raw for some reason.
Huh. That's cool. That's cool. Well, so let me ask you. I mean, we're trying to learn a little bit about you. Who are your favorite WWE superstars?
Back in the day, my favorite was absolutely Undertaker.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
classic.
very much so. And speaking in today's terms, I would probably say that Roman Reigns would probably be my favorite. Like, a lot of people say that he doesn't have much to offer. I think he's doing a fantastic job.
He's definitely stepped up. After WrestleMania and at WrestleMania, he got killed. Royal Rumble, I mean, he got crushed. But man, has he really not responded? For sure. I mean, he's definitely raised his game, man. And you'll see that with guys. You got to go through that patch, and you're right. I mean, Roman Reigns put on an incredible main event with Bray Wyatt. So, you're watching in 5 years from now, that's gonna be your big feud. Those are the two guys. I mean, they're two of the bigger guys. I mean, they're getting there. They're right there now. So that's a good choice for sure. But
Yeah.
that was really the show in a whole. I mean, I don't know where they're gonna go next week. I assume more Kane and Rollins. But you think it was a good show tonight?
Yeah, I think it was a pretty decent show. One thing I really didn't like, they had too many tag team matches, whether intentional or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree with that. I mean, singles matches are always more interesting, and the crowd gets more into them. I would have liked to have seen. I kind of agree with you. I would have rather have seen a Diva singles match than that 6-man. I mean, that was just kind of stupid. And same thing. I mean, you made the best point. New Day versus Dudley's and John Cena. You didn't need to have it. There's no reason for it. But it is what it is, my man. But I gotta say, man, I thank you for being here tonight. You are our newest, youngest, and upcoming star. I hope you had some fun talking about Raw. I'm passionate about the product. I've been a fan since I was a little boy, and you know what, man, I'm proud to be a wrestling fan, bro. I love wrestling, and I appreciate the athletes of the WWE. So it was very cool.
Definitely, yeah.
All right, my man. Well, we'll now bring in our producer extraordinaire, Killer Kev, and see if there's anything he wants to advertise on the network for this upcoming month.
Oh, all kinds of great things to advertise. We have all the best podcasts right here on AngryMarks.com. In addition to the fabulous Raw Reaction, every Tuesday night we have the Undisputed Wrestling Show with our new hosts. Not only do you get the fabulous Zane Paisley and Morning Star Will Huckabee, we have now added professional wrestling independent stars Q-Ball Carmichael and Drew Skills to the show, and they are doing a bang-up job with the show every week. Every Wednesday night, we've got Glove Up or Shut Up with Stevie J and Peter H. covering the world of mixed martial arts. On Thursday nights, we've got Thursday Night AMP with Stevie J again, along with Rob the Mini covering NFL action, and the Great Sudoku chiming in with the latest from Japan and the independents. And occasionally we'll get the elusive Jordan Garber covering wrestling with us each and every week. Friday nights, of course, we get Over the Top Radio with Ed in San Antonio and all of his crazy friends. And sometime during the weekend, we also record the Impact Implosion with Seth Draken and Mike Pullen, covering everything in the last days of TNA wrestling and, on occasion, Global Force Wrestling whenever they show up. So, there you go.
Why are you saying the last days of TNA?
Well, their TV contract with Destination America is about to end. So, at least here in America, you're going to see less and less of it. There's not been any announcement that any network has picked them up. There's been no announcement that Destination America is going to renew them for another season, and they've only got about a month to go before that contract is supposed to end. But they've got international television still, but fans here in the U.S. will have to try to search that out on the inner tubes, or they can listen to the Impact Implosion, because Seth and Mike will always find a way to watch it and give you the good, the bad, and the downright ugly.
How long is GFW or GWF? Is that with with Destination America for a long-term deal?
No. Global Force Wrestling is Jeff Jarrett's wrestling promotion. They inked a deal with TNA Impact to do some shows together this summer and fall.
So why all the guys from the TNA roster jumped to GFW?
Well, you have to remember TNA pared down a lot of its roster after they lost the deal with Spike because of a significant drop in revenue. And it just so happened that many of those guys that left were guys that have worked with Jeff Jarrett before, and Jeff Jarrett's always considered them great talent, so he picked them up along with a lot of new indie people to appear on Global Force Wrestling shows. And
Ring of Honor is on Destination America as well.
Yes, Ring of Honor is on Destination America as well. It's a replay, actually. The first run airings will always air over the Saturday and Sundays on the channels with the company that owns them. Oh, how did that? It's right on the tip of my tongue. Wow, I can't believe I forgot who owned them now.
It doesn't matter, honestly.
I was wanting to say Tribune. I know it's not Tribune. The company that owns them, they own, several dozens of TV networks across the United States. So Ring of Honor will air on those networks first on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then the shows are available to their subscribers that weekend as well over Ring of Honor's website. And then it will replay on Destination America on Wednesday nights, and then Thursday morning, non-paying fans can go to Ring of Honor's website and see what is essentially last week's episode.
Wow, you could do a Thursday night AMP on that whole situation all by itself. And speaking of which, I had no idea that there is the possibility that on a given night you could have Stevie J with Rob the Many and Jordan Garber. That would be entertaining. Big fan of Rob the Many and Jordan Garber. Those guys are cool. They're cool guys. I like those guys.
Yes, sometimes it'll blow your mind.
And, you could say Rob the Many and Jordan Garber are two of the few people that I've never had a feud with, and I like them from the get-go and still like them. Anyway.
There you go.
Good show. I gotta say tonight, Rob, it was a pleasure. I hope we could get you not only on Raw Reaction again, we gotta hear you on some of the other shows too, my man. So I hope you had fun tonight.
I certainly did, yeah. If I get into some of the other shows, then I will have to join you for those.
It'll be good, man. I want you to get to talk to the great Big Vic as well. I think you'll get a kick out of that guy.
Alrighty then.
All right, guys. Well, it's been a great show. Thank you, everybody, for joining in. Raw Reaction, myself, the M-Rob, and Killa Kev. See ya. IPW forever. Hit the music.